I don't really know how to start this, so welcome to Loserville. My name's Carter, and I'm gonna be the host of this shitty podcast. I'm 17. I like long walks on the beach, and I'm not a school shooter like many people will tell you. And that's basically my introduction. I don't really fucking know because I don't know how to do this. So I'll begin to talk about what my plans are for this. So basically, today, this episode is just a test run. Other episodes are going to have other people in it. It's not going to be just me talking to myself like a fucking schizophrenic. So today, it might be shitty. It might be funny. I don't know. It's your opinion, I guess, and please don't fucking judge me off this one episode. So, yeah, each week it's gonna have either same guest hosts or different ones. I don't know, it just depends on people's schedules, I guess. And if these are people are probably way funnier than me, so that's how this work. And also, this is not gonna be a serious thing, meaning like I'm not gonna talk about serious things on here. It's really just me saying shitty jokes, shitty stories, and other people saying shitty jokes and shitty stories because we find that funny. And I wanted to record all this because to keep memories, and also as a get rich quick scheme. And that's basically my idea for this going forward. I basically came up with this idea long ago, but because of the quarantine, this is how I finally execute on this plan. Uh, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't really give a shit. This is for my own amusement and hopefully other people's. So, I'll talk about the coronavirus briefly, meaning I'll talk about what I've been doing because I don't really give a shit about the coronavirus. I've been trying to learn how to draw. Uh, I think I'm pretty good, but who fucking knows? Like, yeah, who fucking knows? I'm not that good of at drawing. Some people think I do, like a friend of mine who asks me to draw cartoon porn for him every once in a while, and at first I said no, but then I changed my mind because I didn't really have much to draw. And yeah, it's not fun. I don't like drawing cartoon porn. It's not fun. It makes me look perverted, and if anyone sees me draw it, they think I'm fucking crazy, and I'm glad my parents have not caught me doing that yet. Uh, but the thing is, he asks for a specific one, for a specific cartoon, Mrs. Incredible, but I refuse to do that just to piss him off. And I find it very funny every time because I'll send him I'll send him one, and he'll just respond by saying, "This is not what I asked for," and I said, "I don't give a shit," and that makes me laugh for about 5 minutes, and then I respond, "I'm never gonna fucking draw Mrs. Incredible for you," and then he gets pissed, and that's about the end of it. And then he'll come back and be like, draw Mrs. Incredible, and then I'll come back and draw Betty Boop or some bullshit. And yeah, that's basically my fun. I've also been trying to think about my future plans, college, job, marriage, death, blah blah blah. Death is really all anyone can think about right now, and I just know I'm gonna be dying in an awesome way because I don't want to fucking die an old man, decrepit of cancer or anything, or heart failure. I'm gonna die in an awesome accident and then make it seem like I was murdered. So I'm gonna basically just grab a gun, shoot myself in the back of the head as many times as I can, and then write a suicide note, but in a different style of handwriting. So it makes it seem like someone else wrote it, and I really just wanted to waste the police time thinking that someone murdered me when in fact I just came up with a ploy to waste their time and money, because that's how I get my shits and giggles done. Waste other people's time. That's really my hobbies in life, pre and post quarantine. And that'll be my greatest achievement, really, finding a way to annoy others post death. Like I'll keep it. I'll like keep uh, clues laying around, leading to a point where it's just gonna be a note saying, "This you were fooled by the great mastermind Carter Larson. Check out his podcast," and then it's just gonna be them being furious, wasting their time and money on me. Because basically I'm an attention whore, but who cares? Um, but back to thinking about my future, I realize that I can't get a job because I can't do anything. I have no skills or talent. So I've basically been trying to find get rich quick schemes. Obviously, if you can't tell, this is one of them. Uh, a shitty podcast that maybe 50 people will listen to in their lifetime. And if this is my greatest achievement, I lived a sad life, and I hope that you know that. But my other idea is a Rotten Tomatoes website, but it's only for porn. And I came up with this idea late at night while I was half asleep, because that's when I come up with my greatest ideas. And I was watching some trailer for whatever movie, I don't fucking know, and I noticed that every movie always mentions the Rotten Tomatoes score, and I thought I had the idea of basically a trailer guy saying, "Coming this summer, the next big hit from Pornhub that has a 98% on spoiled peaches or rotting eggplants comes Big Dick 4, The Dickening." And that made me laugh in my head and then out loud, and then I sounded like a psychopath for another 2 minutes, and then I went to sleep. And then I woke up really, I wrote it down because I thought it was such a great idea. And I woke up the next morning and realized it was such a shitty idea. But I thought maybe I can make money off of this. My yeah, quarantine's been really shitty for me. I I have the same schedule every day, and it's not one to be envious about. I wake up at 2 p.m. and I go to sleep at 5 a.m. And basically what I do is wake up, watch TV for 7 hours, play video games for 4 hours, eat for about an hour, watch YouTube/TV for another 2 hours or 3 hours, and then I go back to sleep. And it's basically just Groundhog's Day for me right now. And I've been called a dirty hippie dirtball by my own father, so that really helped my self-esteem. And I think I keep on doing this just to piss him off even further, because I really have no reason to do this. And I think it's really just a way for attention, because like I said, I'm an attention whore. I do this only for myself and to ruin the lives of others. My parents, apparently. Um, as I said, I've been watching a lot of TV. I've noticed that there's this leftist agenda of penises in the media, a rise in penises over the years. Honestly, it's kind of making me sick. I'm sick by this. And like, it's making me feel guilty and shameful of my own, because it's not good looking, and they only show good looking ones, and it's honestly making myself feel bad about everything, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if they just want to, if it's only for me, if it's only targeted for me, because every day I just find myself watching a TV show and some guy's penis will be out and it's significantly larger and better looking than mine, and I don't I don't know. I think I need to I need to see a doctor about that or something, cuz it's honestly just grotesque to look at. It's probably the one body part that should be covered at all times. Even though others are always covered most of the time, mine should permanently be covered because of how oddly shapen it is and grotesque. And it honestly makes me want to throw up every time I look down. But at the same time, I don't want to go to the doctor because I have the shittiest doctor. Because I may or may not have Parkinson's. It they seem to not understand my problem. I I I showed them I have a shakiness in my hands. I don't know why, but I basically went to the doctor and I asked what my problem is, and he looked at me with a straight face, super serious. It's either nothing or it's a very serious thing, and then moved right past on and like started talking about how I have flat feet or something like that. That was way worse. But I'm really concerned about my shakiness. I don't give a shit about my flat feet. I can get surgery for that. My shakiness I cannot fix. I seem to not be able to live a normal life because of it. I try to draw straight lines and they somehow become bendy. It seems like I'm trying to draw a bendy straw or something. I make curves, I make arches somehow. Like it's not even funny anymore. I've heard all the jokes. I've tried to like I'll try to hold something in my hand and somehow it moves faster than the speed of light, and it's kind of tiring. I've asked for medical help now and they seem to not help me at all. So thank you. Thank you, Obamacare. Thank you, Trump Care. It's really helping my cause to fix my diseases and my pains. Um, I've been concerned though about some communities during the coronavirus, like the Down syndrome community, because I don't know if they're able, if they understand what's going on. That's really my all my concern is. Then I laugh about it because I'm a piece of shit. I laugh about it because I just imagine a Down syndrome kid asking his parents, "Why can't I see my friends today?" And they have to explain it to him, and he's like, "Okay," and then he goes away for 5 minutes and comes back, "Why can't I see my friends today?" That just keeps me laughing, and I know it's a fucked up shit, but at the same time, I don't care. So I always just imagine like I imagine Down syndrome kids like roaming the streets like, "We're friends, where are you?" And then they become friends with each other, cause obviously no Down syndrome kid left behind. They have a pact, and then it becomes like the movie The Warriors, where just a bunch of street gangs rule the town, but it's just Down syndrome kids, and he's like, "Wyatt, come out to play." And that's honestly probably the greatest thing that I can think of. It's just the idea of Down syndrome kids ruling the streets at night, being feared by the abled. The abled. I would like to point out this is a able podcast, so if you are disabled, I apologize, but it seems to me that you will not be able to get my jokes. No pun intended. I also think about how Down syndrome kids hook up nowadays, because I don't understand it. How Down syndromes can find love. Like, there's a TV show, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a reality TV show, and it's about, basically every episode is about a random Down syndrome person. He's like, I want to find love today. Please find me love. And then they go to like, okay, Billy, this is Jessica. She also has Down syndrome. Sup, baby? You want to see my Lego set and my Velcro shoes? And then she responds like, I want to be a wife and have children, even though I have Down syndrome. And they're like, no, Jessica, you can't have children. You have a disease. I still want children. And so basically, I just wonder, like, do Down syndrome people, without that TV show, would they still be able to find love? Because all I can imagine is, like, Down syndrome people walking up to, like, I don't want to say normal, able people, and say things like, so, you're different than I, opposites attract. You can do math with me while I play with my Lego sets. Sounds fair. Date tonight, 3 p.m., my house, play date. And I know that's a really shitty joke, and it's very offensive, but I also could have Down syndrome. I wanted to tell you I also could have Down syndrome because my doctor seems to not know either. I asked him, am I normal? And all he said was, maybe you're normal compared to me. And honestly, I have to commend him on that. If he doesn't know, at least he tried to make it seem like I was more normal compared to him. I heard a story. Uh, yeah, it's not my story to tell, but I'm still gonna tell the story because I don't think they'll care. So I do have one quote unquote friend who has autism, but it's the type of autism where they're functioning. It's a functioning autist, as I call him. And he's honestly probably the most misguided special needs person I've ever met, because I don't think he understands what his actions do, and he'll get into people's personal space and like lick them, and even though he knows not to lick people, I've told him multiple times, stop licking people, he'll still do it. Mainly because, like, they'll get close to his hair, and he doesn't like people touching his hair, so he'll just lick you, or, like, start petting you or something weird. Anyway, so my autist friend, as I call him, we'll name him Jules. So Jules and another friend of mine will name him, Jimmy. So Jules and Jimmy every once in a while text, and I don't know why I blocked Jules, because I did not, because the one time he asked me for any contact info, he started crying, and I didn't feel comfortable to give it to him, and he also stopped breathing, so it seemed like he tried to kill himself because of it, and I also felt very uncomfortable. I honestly didn't want him to text me at all, so I lied and said I had no social media, and made sure to block him as soon as I left from all social media. Anyway, him and Jimmy text from time to time just to see how things are doing, because Jules is in college. Somehow he made it to college, and Jules will text and be like, "How's things going at school? How is everyone? I miss them." Basically, he would be like, "I miss so and so. I miss so and so." And Jimmy will respond like, "Oh, it's fine, whatever." So one day, Jules texts Jimmy, and he's basically describing how he has a love for him, even though I'm pretty sure he's not gay. I know he's not gay, because he's said multiple times he likes women, and I've tried to jokingly uh, see if he is gay by saying like I love you, Jules, and he'll be like as as a friend, and I'll be like, no, I love you. And he's like, as a friend. And Jules seems to understand the concept of love and how love works. But apparently he something strange happened in college to like many men before him, where they experienced something inside of them and changed their sexuality, I guess. So he basically texts Jimmy, I love you. And Jimmy's like, sure, I love you too, Jules. And he's like, I want to hold your hand. You make me sweaty every time I see you. My palms are sweaty. I get nervous. I get butterflies in my stomach. And Jimmy immediately texts me about this and tells me that he's frightened and worried that he may or may not get raped by Jules later. And this is great because Jules has a uh, Jules has a Jules has a court ordered thing against him, a court ordered uh, document where he cannot get within 50 feet of a certain person. Uh, and I thought that was probably the greatest bit of knowledge I knew, because I did not know about that till later, until I started becoming friendly with him. And then once I became friends with him, I realized why he has that. So, I thought this was great because I felt like he was going to get stalked. My friend Jimmy will be stalked in the next month or so by Jules. And I'm hoping he does, and I'm hoping that. I'm not hoping he gets raped, obviously, but it'll be a funny story if my friend gets raped by an autistic person, because that's probably the funniest thing I can think of. My friend being raped by an autistic person. um, I've been reading if sex can actually get you coronavirus. Basically all I can find out is that kissing, you shouldn't kiss basically because it can spread orally. You really shouldn't be close to anybody with coronavirus, or just be close to anybody really. Fear they may be asymptomatic or something. So I thought, how are people gonna have sex? And then I came up with a solution to only do doggy style, because it's not like they're the only way the only person that's getting breathed upon is the person who is getting fucked in the ass. So, and I'm a man of wanting to please people. I try to please people. So if you are trying to either get ass fucked or wanting to fuck someone in the ass, you can find me on Grindr under the name White Boy Cuck 43. I'm not gay or anything, but I just want to be a people pleaser. I I, I don't want to people to be lonely during these hard times. So just look me up on Grindr. I'll be in your neighborhood if you hit me up. And sure, yeah. I wanted to have the name White Boy Cuck 69, but that was apparently taken by some other gay man, whatever. Kind of ruining my whole Grindr experience. Try to swipe left on them, but or swipe right. I don't fucking know the lingo. I'm new to this whole thing. I try to match with them basically, and they seem to not want any of my loving. Maybe because I'm also a cuck and white, so I find it a little racist and cuckist. But I did find out that if you do smoke, you have less of a chance to get corona. So I've been smoking about 3 packs a day now, every day, and because I don't want to get corona. Fuck it, I don't want to get corona. I do though have lung cancer, so gotta take the good with the bad, I guess. But hey, I don't have corona, so fuck you. Mm, but yeah, just so if you're a kid, listen up, Buckaroo. Start smoking, cause keep the bad corona away. I don't fucking know. I don't know when to end this. So it's gonna. I basically just sound like a fucking psychopath right now, cause I'm in my room, by myself, looking at my phone while also talking to it, like there's someone else in the room, and it seems like I'm a fucking psychopath. If anyone comes down here, I'll have to pretend that I'm on a phone call or something, but I'll, I think I'm safe. I think I'm good. Uh, I'm gonna just try to end it shortly in a minute. So I'll say two good things about this quarantine. Before I end this, the first thing is, I've noticed a lot of people are trying to be creative or like try to learn new things, learn new hobbies, new skills, and I gotta applaud that because that's cool. I like drawing or learning how to play guitar or something or doing anything to like expand your mind. I think that's just a good idea in general. I'm not doing that obviously because I'm a fucking retard, but that's anyone who starts off with the idea of wanting to do something good. I applaud them, even if they don't even fucking, even if it's only in their head. Because I do that all the time. I think about doing something good, and then I feel good about myself. Just having the thought of it. Not doing it, but actually just thinking, like, man, you're a good person just for thinking that. So, I gotta applaud that. But the next good thing is what my favorite thing I've done during this whole thing, and that is my discovery of something I found in one of my homework assignments on Google Classroom, and that is uh, basically the what I had to do was write a, a paragraph of describing like why the class the homework assignment was doing is an important thing. So I wrote the paragraph. It's like 45 sentences basically, and I said this is important because blah 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 blah. But once you turn it in, you can basically just look at other people's answers. So I turned mine in, and then for some reason I thought, hey, let's just look at other people's answers. So I started scrolling down, looking at other people's, not really reading any of them. I was just trying to see what people were doing, how long they were doing. And then I discovered the greatest, it's not even a paragraph, it's a fucking essay, a biography, a rant, I don't know what to call it. But it's about 3 paragraphs, about 40 sentences. And even though it was only supposed to be 45 sentences, and it has nothing to do with what it was asked to do. Like maybe the first couple, like 5 or 6 sentences are about the actual homework assignment, and the rest is just I don't know. The train derailed as soon as it went to the second paragraph. So we'll name him. We'll name this guy. We'll name him Jack. Sure, whatever. So Jack, Jack. So he starts it off, and he's like, "This is why this class is important. Because if it wasn't important, why would this class, be in existence?" Which is a really shitty answer, to be honest. But I can't judge. I write shitty things all the time. It was strange the way he worded it, but it's whatever. That's basically 5 or 6 sentences. He's like, this class is important because why would someone want to talk about it? Why would there be a teacher if it wasn't important? Nothing is without meaning. And I'm like, okay, whatever, you fucking psychopath. We'll get to that later. Anyway, and then I read the second paragraph, which is a fucking brick. I don't know why it's so long, but it has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with the thing it was asked to do. So, basically, it starts off by comparing the class, or the idea of the class, to high school romance, which is already an amazing thing. Amazing, because I know this person, and I know how they write, and that once they get into something, derailed into something, it's perfect. It becomes beautiful. It becomes poetry, basically. And it turns into this rant. Or I'll just say it. The next couple lines, he describes it like high school romance, like his observations, like he's a fucking robot reporting to some master of his. He's like, I didn't understand why high school romance was a thing, why people would do it. It had no meaning. I don't understand it. But all of a sudden, there's a twist. But all of a sudden, I found out why it was important because of one girl. I'm like, oh my god, this kid must have had a crush. I stopped reading because I was already fucking laughing. And like, he had a crush. I need to know who the crush is. And luckily for me, he says who the crush is within the paragraph, because I don't think he realizes that other people can read his answer. So, I'll just read a little bit of it. He's my realization, high school relationships do indeed, in fact, have a purpose and meaning to any coming-of-age experience of my peers. I did not realize that at the time, but what I have experienced was a practice in human love, which is robotic as shit. I don't know who he is, but, like, I didn't know he can experience emotion, because my few interactions with Jack is he looks down upon anyone he comes into. So if you were to like meet him in the hallway, he would have his chin in the air and his eyes looking down at you, like he's a snob or something. But the type of snob that you know that you're better than them, but you just don't care because they're fucking retarded as shit. And like he scares people. Jack scares some people because he's sort of a loner, which is fine, I guess. Some people are loners. It's none of my business to judge people on that. But he's a type of loner that will talk to himself in the hallways or during lunch. He'll sit by himself like in a corner, and you'll just see him have a conversation with himself. You can see the screws turning in his head and his mouth moving to himself. And I honestly get worried at times because I don't know what he's gonna do. Many people expect him to do something drastic, like I don't like something bad is gonna happen if once they see him and one other person, but that's for another story. Anyway, he'll talk to himself. He also laughs in a maniacal way, and it scares a lot of people. People will start laughing because of the way it sounds, but it also scares people. Like it's the stereotypical maniacal laugh, like "mwah," basically, and it scares me. But I try to talk to him sometimes because I find it so fucking hilarious to talk to him because the things he say makes me laugh. Not in that, like, I'm laughing with him, it's more that I'm laughing at him. Like, I don't care. I do not care to admit it. I'll keep on reading. I have witnessed someone learn the do's and don'ts of a relationship. It was almost like watching a movie in a way. As this behavior became more prevalent in my peers, I soon started to see a want and need for this type of relationship in my own life. I almost had it with this girl I know. I was not gonna reveal to who she is, but I'm assuming you'll keep this to yourself. He's trying to. I don't know why you would tell a teacher anyway. Why you would tell a teacher his life story? Because no teacher gives a shit. Especially this teacher, he does not give a shit about what his students, their life story. He's cool and all, but whatever. That's not important. So he doesn't know that other people can read his answer. So in the next line, he says, okay, I'll name drop her. This is so and so. So and so was the meek, quiet girl I saw in a literature class in 10th grade. I did not think of her much, but that changed when a kid in class straight up told me the girl had a crush on me. And I feel like that's a lie. There's a lie in that sentence somewhere. Whether it be someone told him or the lie is what the person told him. My two theories that I've come up with is that either he made up this part and that this girl was just nice to him once and he automatically is like, I love this girl. She's the human being I'm in love with. I developed human emotion for once. Or one of her friends, or someone who dislikes her, just says, hey Jack, so and so, she likes you," and which is obviously a lie, because no one loves this person. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but no one's gonna fucking date this guy. He's fucking too strange. So anyway, that was when my mind began to see a whole world of possibilities for my future. But alongside that came shame and guilt. I was convinced I was being morally wrong by suddenly being interested in a person all because I heard that person liked me. We never really talked to each other. Most of our interactions consisted of awkward staring and turning away from each other in silence. This girl is probably awkwardly, turning away, because I just imagine this kid staring down on her, and she's like, I don't know what the fuck to do, so she just turns away and tries not to interact with him. I don't think she had a crush on him. I still don't. Really nothing outside of that, just awkward stares and leaving. She's leaving because she doesn't want to fucking talk to you. This went on for pretty much for the remainder of the year, and most of 11th grade. Eventually I had to face the facts and realize I did not like her back. So now he's become better than this girl for liking him, this has become even better, because I thought it's gonna end it with him in heartbreak. No, in his own story he says, I committed the heartbreak. I feel bad for this girl because she obviously was in love with me and I had to break her heart. So like I said, he's just trying to be better than anyone, and everyone knows that they're actually better than him. Maybe as a friend, but not that friend. However, it pains me to see that people in heartbreak, so I did what I believe to be the real viable option. Just do not talk to her. I don't think she was talking to him anyway, but whatever. I cannot break any hearts if I do not have any hearts to break. What? Mother, the only reason you have no hearts to break is because no one fucking likes you, and you're just trying to act better. And high school relationships, either you love them or you hate them. I don't really care. I've never had a high school relationship. I doubt I ever will for the remainder of my high school. But it is what it is. But I'm not a fucking robot. A few months later, she was gone and moved schools. I wish nothing but the best for people who I cannot see anymore. They have their life and I have mine. I learned something that I can argue is more fulfilling than a romantic relationship. There are things in life that may seem feasible, simply just cannot be achieved at the end of the day. She too has learned something from this. I don't think she fucking knows about any of this. I don't think she knows that you even liked her. I don't think she even liked you. I don't think you were. The girl in question, I've never talked to her. I talked to her once, and she gave me really bad advice. So, but that's I'm not gonna judge her for that. She gave me bad advice. She told me, I'll get to that later. I hope she's so. To answer your question, blah blah blah. Time is precious. We shall be able to learn something from any situation to teach future generations the do's and don'ts. So that's how that ends, and that was already great enough. And then she realized that other people can read his answers, so he sends his own replies basically, and I gotta give him. okay, crap, people can see this. So and so is not a real person. Fake news. I made that name up. Obviously he didn't, because there was a person by that name that went to my school and was in our grade, and I know that person was real. So he's just trying to save his own ass on that one. Um, so yeah, I wrote a little story down to spice things up for my project here. What are you looking at? Go to YouTube or something. I wonder if someone will put this in a cringe compilation of YouTube. They probably are, let's be honest. They probably will. Wait, this was supposed to only be 4 to 5 sentences only? Crap, I need to read things more thoroughly. Well, the good news is most people don't like reading a huge block of text, so I should be okay, hopefully. Probably not, but hopefully. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people read this because once I found this, I already knew it was gonna be great. And secondly, I screenshotted all of it and sent it to people, and they like only one person told me that they read it, and they only read the first paragraph they said. So I knew like a lot. He was right, but I kind of ruined things by showing other people, which I'm a dick for, whatever. That's just who I am. And so this is, I gotta give him props because though he made an ass of himself, he really had he really fucked up on this one. He tried to save himself, and then he realized like there's nothing he can do, so he's like, fuck it, I don't care. And so I gotta give him props on that one. He he poured his heart out into this essay and told everyone his life story basically, and uh, and then he was just like, fuck it, I don't care, I don't care. That people may make fun of me or whatever, but it's who cares. And he even recommended some random song. I haven't listened to it. I don't really give a shit. I responded at one point asking him a question, and then he was just being rude to me for no reason. So whatever. And it is what it is. He's a good person. He's a good guy, even though he's a little strange. He's a good guy. He was even, if you think this is weird, he was even stranger, younger. He has a whole website about his love of Shrek, and he has a second website also that was a draft of the first website, basically with more pornographic imagery in the other one. But that one, like, he has backstory for Shrek that makes no fucking sense. Like, Shrek's evil, like, doppelganger who's blue, named Drek, and Drek has the most powerful weapon, which is his vaginal void. And I honestly, if anyone wants to read that, go right ahead, because if you enjoyed this, you'll love Drek's vaginal void. Dreck is how you spell it. And hey man, everyone deserves love. Whether you're fat, whether you're skinny, whether you're short, whether you're tall, whether you're retarded, whether you're gay, got Down syndrome, whatever, everyone deserves love. That's my main message today. I may be unsuccessful at it, but everyone deserves love eventually. And I hope that's all I can say, really. I'll go back real quick. The shitty advice that girl gave me was to buy a girl flowers. Because I was talking with friends, and I was saying how I was invited to some event, and like they told me you should buy her flowers because that's the nice thing to do. I'm like, okay, whatever. And she was like, yeah, you should. Every girl loves flowers. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I bought the flowers, and they were $20, and I did not know flowers cost $20. So to this day, it makes me mad thinking about it. So I bought these $20 flowers, and I gave it to her. She apparently liked it. Whether it was sympathetic or not, I don't fucking know. It's not my business. I don't care. But yeah, it was really shitty advice. I wasted $20 that day, and if I could, I'd go back to that girl and ask her for $20. I've never talked to her. That was my one-time interaction with her. Is she told me to buy flowers, and it costed me $20, and Yeah. But yeah, everyone deserves love. If you can find it in any way, shape, or form, whether platonic, familial, or romantically, good on you. And I hope this gives you some hope. Uh, I may be shitty with love, but if there's anyone out there that you're romantically interested in, you should just go ahead and ask them out, because the worst scenario is you can get rejected, and who fucking cares? You look like a dipshit for 2 days, maybe, and that's about it. Trust me, I've got plenty of stories where I looked retarded. I literally, and this is how I'll end this. I'll end it with my own story. This happened to me a year ago, and I tried asking out a girl who already rejected me, and she, uh, for some reason, I'm like, fuck it, I'll just ask her again, because I'm a dipshit, and I have weird philosophies. Anyway, so I asked her this girl once before, or some, maybe, whatever. Anyway, she rejected me before, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll just ask her again, because I'm a dipshit. And so I was like, I was basically hanging out with this girl, and then a friend of her and a friend of mine who were dating at the time, and the entire time I was hanging out with them, my friend was basically saying to me, "You should ask her out, blah blah blah, just ask her out." And I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't really fucking care. So I never really asked out women before, and so what I did was, there was a big basketball game at our high school at the time, and it was like at the end of the day, and like no one was in the hallway besides me, this girl, my friend, and his girlfriend, and or also her friend. So his girlfriend's also her friend, and so I she was about to leave, and I basically I was like, hey, blah, and then she turned around and didn't know what to do. So I put out my arms like, I don't fucking know, like a retard who's flying through the wind, and I I turned my head. I don't know what I don't know. I don't have recollection of what happened that day. I blocked this out of my memory. Other people tell me. My friend and his ex-girlfriend told me what happened basically, and I pulled my arms out like a retard in the wind, and I turned my head like I was turning around or something. I'm like, hey, you want to go to the game? And then she was very sweet and said no and walked away. She rejected me very sweetly, and I. So yeah, that'll forever be my retard story of how I got rejected. uh, I got plenty more, and the further I go along in this, the more you'll learn about it. So, goodbye, and have fun during quarantine.